Welcome to Motherhood in ADHD. I'm your friend, Patricia Sun. My mission is to be a lighthouse for mothers with ADHD, helping you find your path to success by learning to appreciate your ADHD as an asset. I'm seeking to change the paradigm that ADHD means your life is doomed to be a hot mess. So I'm sharing strategies and encouraging you in your pursuit of happiness to love who you are every day of your ADHD life. Hey there, Successful Mama. It's your friend Patricia. I am beyond excited about today's episode. It is my first, but definitely not going to be the last, Ask the Experts. So here is why I am just giddy like a schoolgirl at our first boy band concert. Because I reached out to some of my favorite folks on Instagram and they all said yes. It was amazing. I am fairly new to Instagram. I know my friends have been on me for a while to get with it. Now I realize why they love it so much, and I am just so impressed by the ADHD community on Instagram. What I love about these people that you're about to hear from is that they are all so upfront and honest with their journeys. They don't shy away from the hardships. And yet they're not whiners and complainers. They're focused on moving forward, improving, and encouraging all of us in the process. Because here's the thing, if they weren't focused on those things, well, I unfollow those people. Listen, I already know how hard it is to have ADHD, so I don't need you filling up my feed with your negativity. Because I tell you at the beginning of this podcast, I want to be a lighthouse for moms with ADHD. And a lighthouse not only keeps you from the craggy bottom and running ashore, but it also guides you safely home. So I want to make sure that I'm giving you not only the practical tips on how to achieve a life of peace and calm, but also the why, looking at the tough stuff on the inside, which boils down to your why. Why are you pursuing changing your life and doing something different? And when I think about what's the truest form of safety, to me, that's feeling loved. And that all starts with loving yourself. Some of us are working on how to love ourselves more, and some of us are working on how to love ourselves at all. So I asked my experts, what has made the most impact in your life in learning to love yourself with ADHD? Now here's the thing, I didn't choose experts in the traditional sense. I didn't pick doctors or people who had written lots of articles on ADHD. I picked people who are living the ADHD life every day. I have the perfect mix of moms and not moms, young and young at heart, ladies and guys, bold and sweet, raw and uplifting, and I hope that you feel just as lucky as I do to have these ADHD advocates on the forefront of the charge to say, we have ADHD and we're not embarrassed by our different brains, and we are not less than. We embrace who we are and what we add to the world. And I am simply honored to share their wisdom, honesty, and positivity with you, sweet mama. So let's give ourselves a confidence boost and hear what our ADHD experts from Instagram have to say about loving ourselves more. So my first expert is Jessica of Every Thought Captive Coaching. I love watching Jessica's Instagram videos. She's super relatable and totally goofy, and she feels like someone you could be friends with down the street, no problem. Now, I am currently taking her emotional mastery class through Facebook group, and oh my goodness, I really hope she does this again because it is ADHD gold. It is not meant specifically for ADHD, but you know, with our impulsivity comes the issue of regulating our emotions. And it has really given me a lot of understanding and action items to work on my quick to respond anger that comes with the people who are closest to me that I really want to work on. So let's hear what Jessica has to say about loving yourself.
Hey ladies. This is Jessica Heimsoth with Every Thought Captive Coaching. And the thing that's made the biggest impact on my ability to love myself with ADHD has been the realization that value does not come from what we do. It comes from our very being. And that's super abstract. So let me give you the example, the exercise that really hit this home for me. I was imagining I had made 100 mistakes in a month. I failed at everything. I yelled at my husband. I didn't make it on time to the dance recital, and I did not shampoo my hair. And then I encountered a woman who had made 200 mistakes. I said, would I think when I met this person and found out they'd made more mistakes than me, would I think that they mattered less than I did? That this person was less worthy of love and acceptance and respect, that she was less important, that I was just better than she was. And in the moment, I may have thought so, but when I gave myself space, I realized, no, not a chance. She is equally as important. She matters just as much, and she is just as worthy of love. The mistakes don't matter. In fact, love doesn't depend on how great you are. It depends on the capacity of the lover to love. So with that in mind, that I am inherently valuable and that I can grow my capacity to love everyone, including myself, it's changed everything.
Now, building on the theme of inner value is Liz. Liz has an amazing wealth of knowledge in her podcast. She has a true passion for adult women with ADHD, and she has a membership site to grow that community for women to have a safe place to talk through feelings. They do body doubling together. What a gift that is to our community. So let's hear what Liz has to offer.
Hi, my name is Liz Lewis. I'm the founder of the ADHD Enclave, the only online private community for women with ADHD. How did I learn to love myself with ADHD? Well, honestly, I had to learn to love myself first, and I'm still doing that every day. It's sort of a daily practice for me, actually. I wasn't a kid who grew up with a lot of reinforcement, and so I really had to figure out that it was safe to be seen in the world. And I'm still figuring that out. And I'm still trying to be the best version of myself that I can be, the truest, most authentic version of myself. And I'm just starting to understand that it is safe to love and respect myself and expect things from my life and from the world. And that's okay. And so I would tell anybody who's dealing with that, the diagnosis itself, work on you first. Work on loving and respecting you as you are. The ADHD is just a layer. It's a part of you. It is not the whole picture. So love you. Love and respect yourself. Practice putting yourself into the world and being who you are, because I promise you the world will not judge you as harshly as you are probably judging yourself. So do that first. And then the ADHD part of it becomes so much easier. I promise.
Next up is Dina, who also talks about knowing who you are. Now, talk about a role model. Dina is the ADHD lawyer, and if you're worried that you can't do hard things with ADHD, she became a lawyer. So surely you can do hard things with ADHD too. Dina also has a passion for ADHD and exercise. She is for sure my shoulder and arm muscle idol, and I am coming for guns like that every time I go to the gym. She is a straight shooter, go-getter, and tells it like it is. So let's hear from Dina.
Hey y'all, ADHD lawyer here, aka Dina. I finally understand why I act and react the way I do. Learning and understanding my ADHD has made me become so much more self-aware. I think that I'm finally able to love myself with my ADHD even more because of the newfound empathy I have for myself. Understanding the why has helped me become so much more aware of everything, pretty much. And the impact it has had on my confidence and my self-esteem is ineffable. So the self-awareness, the mindfulness, that has had the biggest impact in my life, in learning to love myself with my lifelong roommate, ADHD.
My other straight shooter is Kristen. She is hilarious, she is honest, and she is strong in her convictions. She has no problem giving you a swift kick in the rear when you need a little push. And we all need a little push quite often. So here's Kristen.
Hi, this is Kristen Carter, host of the I Have ADHD podcast and creator of IHaveADHD.com. What has made the most impact in my life as I've learned to love myself with ADHD is really taking the time to educate myself on the true symptoms and impairments of adult ADHD. My doctor, my therapist, my psychiatrist were honestly no help in this particular area. I had to go out and read and research for myself. And in the last 5 years, I have developed such compassion and love and understanding for myself as I have learned about the true symptoms of ADHD. I have learned that it permeates every single aspect of my life, from my education to my relationships and my emotions, the way that I interact with my family and my kids and my career, and everything about me is affected by my ADHD. Understanding that has allowed me to love myself so much more and really be a champion and an advocate for myself, because I realize what a huge debilitating disorder this can be. And so my advice is educate and research as much as possible.
Next, we have Alyssa, who also talks about a knowledge focus. Now, Alyssa is just so sweet. Her posts are always encouraging. She is awkwardly adorable and endearing, and I love that she is incredibly welcoming to anyone who has a slightly different brain. Now, I also have a little soft spot for Alyssa because she reminds me so much of my best friend growing up, so hopefully you love her as much as I do. Here she is.
Hey there, this is Alyssa of Alyssa's Wonky Brain. I would say the thing that's made the biggest impact in my life as far as learning to love myself with my ADHD goes is learning about neuroscience, and particularly the neuroscience behind ADHD, because I found the more that I learn about how my brain works, the better I'm able to accept the truth that my struggles are not due to a character flaw, but rather have causes outside of who I am as a person. And when I'm able to accept this, then grace and forgiveness toward myself becomes a lot easier. And then also, the more I learn about how my brain works, the more effective I am at finding solutions and strategies that actually work because they're addressing the root of the issues. And when I have solutions that work, I have a more successful day. And when I have a more successful day, self-love becomes all that much smoother.
So now we have Mark. Mark is a champion of the ADHD community and building relationships. He has a heart for the community of men who have ADHD in strengthening their vulnerability, and I think we could always use a little more of that. Mark's encouragement style also reminds me of your little brother who knows you're having a bad day even when you haven't said anything, and somehow comes up with the perfect thing to say to get you out of your funk. So let's hear from Mark.
Hey everyone, this is Mark Almodovar here, ADHD life coach, co-author of Our Transformative Journey. And one of the things that's had the most impact in my life with learning to love myself with ADHD is discovering community. It is super, super important that we take advantage of all the resources out there, such as this podcast, different Facebook groups like my ADHD men's support group on Facebook, or different adult ADHD groups as well. But knowing that you're not alone can be a huge, huge first step when it comes to healing and learning to navigate this fast car that we have for a brain.
So on that theme of not being alone is Sandra. Her posts are raw and she's so transparent in her struggles. And even though she's halfway across the world, I feel like she somehow reads my inner thought monologue and puts it down in her posts. I relate so much to her anxiety posts, and her honesty gives you the space to know that you're not alone. And even though it's hard, it'll be okay. And here's what Sandra shared.
Hey, my name's Sandra. I am the ADHD coach and educational specialist behind the ADHD Good Life. And I was diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, and PTSD last year at the age of 40. Before my diagnosis, it just was a struggle to try to find a way to fit in and find some acceptance. I don't think I ever really felt accepted anywhere because I never really felt that anything I did was good enough anyways. And so because of that, I just kept hiding all these pieces of myself that I was embarrassed by or ashamed of. When I finally got diagnosed, I was able to start to unearth all of those pieces again and a clearer picture of myself came up. And that's been really amazing for me because now I understand more of myself. I'm able to accept a lot more of myself. And it's giving me what I think could be a lot more inner peace. I'm not sure that sort of thing is foreign to me at this point, but I just feel a lot more complete. It's also been really amazing to be able to find my voice and share my truth with other women and then have them share their truth with me. And I think that has been the most powerful thing for me.
And finally, I saved this positivity bomb for the end. I love John's videos. He just pumps me up and I feel like I can conquer the world after I listen to him talk. And so any day that you are on the struggle bus, I recommend hanging out with him for a couple of minutes and you'll be ready to go.
Hey guys, this is John, also known as GC John on Instagram. Also, I am on YouTube at J_ADHD. I want you guys to know that, hey, ADHD, it's a great thing. Look at it as a blessing. I know I might not know a lot of you guys out there. I'm very brand new to, advocating for ADHD, but I will tell you this. You have a gift. You guys are special. You guys are talented. You guys have something in which a lot of people don't truly understand. You have the power to access the most creative visions in your mind and radiate so much energy and look at the world in such a different way in which it sets you apart from everyone. So do not look at ADHD as something that is very, very negative. I want you to take it as positive as possible because, hey, God didn't make a mistake when he made you guys. So I wanted to come here and I wanted to give you guys some words of positivity. Know that everything is going to be fine. Days are going to get better. We're going to have some ups. We're going to have some downs. I have plenty of downs, but guess what? I'm still moving every single day just like you guys can. And I think with this podcast, I am very appreciative of having the opportunity to speak to all of you and to, share my voice out there. And I hope to hear from a lot of you. And I wish you the best of success with this podcast. Enjoy, everyone.
So sweet, Mama. Your homework for this week is think about whoever's advice just hit home with you most and take an action step. Do the thing that felt most comfortable in your heart of hearts to take a step in the right direction in loving ourselves more, getting to know ourselves better so that we can accept who we are and turn those hardships into your battle cry. Knowing that you have the knowledge that brings understanding in who you are and while giving yourself the grace and compassion to deal with the hardships that we encounter every day. And take comfort that you are not alone. There are others of us that are climbing that mountain right alongside you, and that we were created to be just as we are. And we're not made to stay the same. We're meant to grow and improve and love ourselves more every day. So please connect with each of these people, reach out and join the ADHD community. You can find all of their contact information on my website, motherhoodandadhd.com, on the resources page, or if you want to head straight to the spot, it is patriciasung.com/show-notes. Please share this podcast with a friend who could use some encouragement. And if you're on iTunes, scroll down and hit the 5 stars so that we can continue to share this message with all the ADHD mamas out there. All right, successful mama, we'll talk soon. Thank you for listening to Motherhood and ADHD. For more resources, head over to our website, www.motherhoodandadhd.com.